I want to talk about a subject that I didn't want to talk about. And I didn't want to talk about it because I don't wish to give any energy to my personal circumstances. However, I feel from a utilitarian concept that to talk about it will do the best for the greatest amount of people. For I know that I am not the only father who experiences what I'm about to talk about. I said father, so you know what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about black women. Black women. I can't talk about anybody else because my knowledge is within a black context. So I'm talking about, and it's something that I hear about every day. I'm talking about black women denying, not their fathers, not the fathers, denying the children the right to have a father. Churning up everything in that little factory that would allow them to justify the destruction of an entire child's life. Children are affected when a parent is denied access to their life. Girls are like this. If a girl does not have a love with her father, that girl becomes, in the most cases, an abused or, the very least, a disturbed individual. An individual who runs through life seeking approval from as many men as possible. Easily manipulated. And for a woman to decide that is what I want for my daughter because my crutch is no longer sustained by that man is a very dim and minute, little small-minded ideology. But it takes two to tango, so I have to take my responsibility for all my situations, and all men have to as well. But one could never say, I'm not religious. I used to be religious. I'm not religious at all anymore. But I still believe in some of the things that religion taught me. Take, for instance, the story of Solomon having to make a decision between two women, one of whom crushed her child while she was asleep, and now was demanding the live child from its real mother. And she was willing to chop that child in two. That is the state of affairs of black women in today's society. They are willing, ready, and they carry it out to destroy the lives of their children just because they cannot get access to that man any longer, or for some other reason which is manufactured here because everybody else got to get on and move along with life. Black women don't tend to. I met my mother. I was 35 years. My mother was still bitter at my father, and my father brought us up. Tell me that that's reasonable. Black women. My mother's a black woman. Anyway, so it's something that the black community needs to raise up and start to talk about. They want to talk about everything else. You want to talk about homosexuality. Homosexuality is not our concern before our families. Our families are our concern. That is our concern. Let's take that on board first before we start to integrate homosexuals into our lifestyles. We as a people need to step up. When we see the number of black men murdering black men coming from single homes which are run by black women, we have to ask a question. We have to ask, why is it that a child reared in a black woman's home is going out there and murdering a next black man? What has caused that? And then we have to look at what the possibilities for creating that mindset is. Your fathers are no good, men are dogs, and the list goes on. You can ask the youngest black woman, ask her, a little child, go into school and ask the children, tell me some negative things about men. And they have them already down packed because they've been taught. Mothers with their emotion and their desires to be fulfilled cannot find this fulfillment because you must be able to fulfill you before anybody can fulfill you. I can fulfill me. Do you understand? I don't have no shortcomings. I don't have any, anger management issues different to if you want to kick my ass, I want to kick your ass too. That's about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But we as a people, we need to shape up or shape out. This world don't need the kind of characteristics that we are bringing to the table. And this world is for progress and evolution. The only evolution is evolution of the mind, where people are moving forward and making a better day. And as a people, with our families and especially with our children and determining the future, we are not doing anything. I'm very emotional about this. I'm very passionate about this because every day of my life since my first child was born, I have been in pain. Every day, every single day. When I see my children, I feel like to scream because I am in so much pain. But I'm not allowed to show it. So I keep it to myself. But I know there are millions of men out there, millions of black men who may have fucked up somewhere along the line, but it does not mean that their offspring should be condemned to a life of oppression. You understand? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean if a man screws up that his child should be confined to a life of oppression just because the law set a trap for a rat. And the rat perceived that the cheese was its friend. The system does not favor African people. And therefore, some things are placed in the system to destroy the foundations of African families. And it has fucking worked well. Let's get our head on, man. Let's get our head on. Let's continue this discussion because there's a lot to say about this discussion. We got to get in the depths of it. And we're going to get in the depths of it in the coming weeks. Wait for a while.